Yeah.
All right, here we go. I have to make up a bunch of these facts because I didn't know what I mean. It's
Oh,
still
you know
Lego
what?
DC.
Yeah, we usually
It's okay.
have someone that's
Figure it
better
out.
at this shit than
I
us
think
to
this
do
one's
this
easy
for
at
us.
least. So today I'm going to be reviewing for the Game Boy Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3. These games were produced a year after each of the Donkey Kong countries that they respectively represent were released in America. So, or we're talking U.S. releases. I don't know about the Japanese releases. So 1 was 95, 2 was 96, and 3 was in 97. So I really don't know any more than that. Nintendo and produced by Rare, which is amazing. The best team I could ever imagine, to make a fucking game. Let's see. Played on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, which is really awesome. This is super old fucking games. Yeah, these are really old. These games shouldn't I think who said this? That Adam was like, these games shouldn't have worked in the chat.
Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't have worked. Yeah,
these games are pretty what's the word? They're like, oh man, I can't think of any.
They
words
really
tonight.
push the boundaries of what the Game Boy could do. Yeah,
there's a word, but I can't remember it now. It was like such a grandiose plan to put the Donkey Kong
Grandiose, the Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know. Grandiose. Let's blast those. So anyway, so really, I can't think of it. Really, just Donkey Kongs were doing really well at the time. They were like, we got the handheld now. Let's do this. Let's see how it goes. It's not available on anything but the Game Boys right now. I'm really hoping we get a Game Boy Advance / Game Boy Color, whatever store on the Switch, so we can get these. I would love that, or just a whole DK bundle release thing. Maybe they're never gonna give us shit we want. Let's see. I know. What do I like about the games? So I'll go in order about each one, and I'll be quick about it. So 2 and 3 are very similar. I won't go in order. What was I saying? 2 and 3 are very similar to their respective games. So 2 is probably the closest. The names of the levels are even really similar to Donkey Kong Country 2. The music is pretty much 8-bit versions of the songs, which is amazing, all done by David Wise. So absolutely incredible. And 3 is kind of like a bite-sized version of 3, but there's a lot of features taken out, and then the level designs and names are all different. Level designs on all 3 are all different from the console versions, but these 2 are more closely related to the console versions. And what else? 1 though is drastically different. So it's completely a new Donkey Kong platformer, in my opinion. From everything from level design to unique music and all that, visuals. It's really incredible.
Dude, I remember when Adam got Donkey Kong Land 1. I was freaking blown away. Not only had I never seen a yellow cartridge before, because this was before Pokemon.
The colored.
It was the first non-gray cartridge. I was like, this is cool. And then the fact that the game controlled and felt like the Super Nintendo on a Game Boy cartridge.
Exactly.
I lost my freaking mind.
Yeah. So that's in my opinion the biggest thing that I like about these games is that they feel so much like the Super. And as good as 1 feels, it feels really good. It's tight, but it's still a little heavy. I don't know how to explain it in the weightiness of the jumps, but it still feels like you're playing on the Super. 2 and 3 really refine it. I think that 2 really refines it a great deal. And then 3 kind of amps it up another 5%. And 3 feels very smooth to play. Honestly, as smooth as the Super Nintendo, if not smoother in some parts. I can't explain it. The controls are really nice, very smooth. So that's a huge part for me, is that these games actually feel like Donkey Kong games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a new port of a game, and it doesn't seem like a Donkey Kong game at all. It actually is a Donkey Kong game. They're pretty much Donkey Kong games, but they're all unique also. So you're playing new levels completely. That's why I couldn't really run these games. I really want to run these games, actually, seeing how short they are. The runs are all 30 to 40 minutes. So.
Dude, I think you should. The fact that you currently have top 5 world record.
It's not top 5 anymore.
Oh no. Top 6?
7.
Oh no.
7.
Well, you need to get back on it. Dude, you're slipping, bro. Well, you had a top 5 world record in Tropical Freeze. This is still a good game. And I was watching you play this live the other day, and you were moving like a speedrunner. Like there was a couple levels that you just flew through, and I was like, wow, that's like really impressive. I think you definitely could if you wanted to do runs of this game.
Yeah, I would definitely use RetroArch to like practice it, and then probably do it on the Super, Super Game Boy. Actually, you can use certain emulators. You can use the Gambat emulator.
Gambate.
Gambate. Yeah, I guess there you go. You can use that one, but you can't use it through RetroArch, so I have to set it up another way. So I don't know how to do that. But what else? What else did I like about the game? It's Donkey Kong. What else do you want me to say? What didn't I like about the game? Really, they just took out some features from the countries, like riding on animal buddies and being able to get off, like saving you some health in that way. There were certain enemies and mechanics that weren't featured. The games are smaller too, which is fine for running them, especially. But I would love more. There definitely could have been more in these games, but for the time, like they're pretty full, I would say. Story-wise, they're all basic. They're pretty much, what they are on the in country. 1 doesn't have any out loud story at all. 2 has like the exact same story as 2 does, and 3 has kind of an out loud story, but it's a little vaguely different. But it's pretty much the same premise, same bad guys, and all that.
Yeah, I would say
talk a little on that one.
So you played this on. You played the as though you put a Game Boy cartridge into a Game Boy Color. Right.
Exactly. So I played these with the Game Boy Color mod on RetroArch. Yeah.
I would say that playing it on Game Boy, one of the minor downsides is that one of the downsides is that it suffers a little bit on visibility.
Yeah.
I
would say so. Yeah.
I don't remember that being a problem when we played it on our DMGs, but we were also used to like playing by like the street lights as the car drove by.
I will say. When it was super small, I thought it looked worse. And when it was blown up on the big screen, I actually thought it looked a little better on these recent streams. But there were certain times when the bad guys would hit me and the hitboxes are like super fucking weird. You freeze for a second and when you get hit and it's like this. And I'm like, what? I'm not even just because of, zoomed out. The pixels are touching basically, but we basically have an enlarged screen. So
yeah, especially in like that elevator level with like the spike tires. You have to jump over.
Yeah.
Like, that I remember getting stuck so hard on some of those levels, and part of that was because of hit detection and like knowing exactly where my character was.
Yeah, I will say there's a little bit of wonkiness in 1, especially, and a little bit in 2. 3 kind of fixes it with like jumping and maintaining a run, just like getting a full on jump and maintaining getting a run going right away. Just feels kind of clunkier, especially in 1. Feels a little hard to get your run going right away. And I'm like, why does it feel like I have to engage something? You should just be able to like hold the B button, but you have to like roll and then start running. And then 2, it's a little bit, and then 3, you just like can just hold it, run, which is fucking awesome. So they kind of fix that. You see me playing 2 right here. Oops, this is literally like a copy of a level from 2, Country 2. Oh, I died right at the end. Oh, I'm using the rewind. How hilarious. Anyway. The rewind made it a lot easier because I hadn't played these levels before. It's going to be a lot easier to help me run them, but it doesn't mean that it's the quintessential way to play these. I think it would probably be awesome to die a bunch and really learn the hard way also. So there's that. So story, somewhat engaging. Gameplay is absolutely astonishing. Like absolutely flawless platforming. These are the best platformers on a handheld console. Done. I can't even think of anything else that comes to mind that's close.
I mean, 6 golden coins is really excellent.
Okay. Yeah. 6 golden coins is really good.
There's a game you need to check out.
Let me rephrase.
Okay.
These are the best, like, speed running
Sure. Yeah.
I don't like Sonic.
Like that flow state kind of.
Yeah. Like the flow state is good. And that's arguable for some of the Mario games. Everything was ported, I guess. So, okay, never mind. I eat my hat. But these are really good. These are really good ones. Wait, what were you saying? What was a really good? You said I should play one.
Oh, I mentioned it in your stream. It's called like
Cyber Shadow.
No, well, Cyber Shadow's dope. It's not a Game Boy game though.
Oh yeah.
It's called like Phantom Revenge or some shit like that. It's the game that I was saying to Colin, it's like Space Station Silicon Valley, only good, and it's handheld. A handheld platformer. You're like this ghost that can like possess literally any character in the game and take their powers, and
don't think I
Like,
played that one.
it's really fun. It's really
on Game
fun.
Boy?
It's on Game Boy. It's a
Wow,
port of an
okay.
arcade game. I'll tell you actually exactly what it's called.
Okay.
If you give me
One
just a
thing,
minute.
like I wanted to mention on story that I thought was really fun. I mentioned this one on your stream also.
Avenging
was-
Spirit.
If you go to the manual of Donkey Kong Land 1, the intro for it is Cranky Kong making fun of Donkey Kong because he's like, you needed your graphics to make your game good. And Donkey Kong's like, I did not. And Cranky's like, yeah, you did. You couldn't do it on Game Boy, I bet. And he's like, okay, I'll do it on Game Boy. And Cranky's like, cool, I'll call up K. Rool and have him steal the banana art again.
That's hilarious.
Wow, Cranky fucking makes him do it. Just a repeat.
That's so funny.
It's like the same thing, but that's so funny.
The name of the game that I was thinking of, guys, by the way, is called Avenging Spirit.
Avenging Spirit.
It's a port of an arcade game, and it's fucking awesome. Like, I think it's the only... Like, it was originally on arcade, and it was only ported to Game Boy for some reason. And it's really badass.
I will say, moving on to art, I feel like we're looking at this gameplay right now, and this looks good as fuck for the Game Boy. Honestly, like, with the Game Boy Color enhancements, I feel like the pixelation is smooth. It, like, almost looks like the renders from the SNES. Like, it's obviously pixels and not rendering, but it's pretty close. The movement and like when you see the characters like move and breathe.
Well, so I think they did. I do think they did pre-render the sprites and then just digitize them.
Digitize them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. It looks really good. So I feel like that's something that the Game Boy wasn't able to do. I mean, maybe it could before, but how old was the console? It was like 91, like 90. I think it came out right before the Super. So this was like in the middle of its career, basically, and then the Color came out like right after these came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can hold the art against it too much because of when it came out, and it's a handheld. So I mean, maybe some points, but not really even because I really do like how it looks.
I mean, translating a 16-bit, it is actually a 32-bit sprite.
Yeah.
That was downscaled to 16-bit for the actual console. Downgrading that to an 8-bit like 3-color sprite is super impressive that they were able to translate that.
Yeah,
and I think the backgrounds look great too. Like, anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Rare was undefeated back then, man.
Rare was undefeated. And they were like, we're getting 6 games out of this franchise. Like, literally between 94 and 97, they made 6 games with Nintendo just on Donkey Kong alone. And I'm sure like a ton of other games, Well, yeah, definitely a ton of other games, but that was just like, and David Wise, moving on to music, he was on all fucking of them. He had a lot of help. You said he did the whole one soundtrack, right?
He did. There was someone else that did
another guy. That's right. There was another guy. And then 2 and 3 are literally just the soundtracks, like pretty much digitized. I would say with minor alterations to some of the songs. But 1 is a completely unique, for the most part, soundtrack with like a few exceptions. But really, really awesome songs. David Wise kills it on that, and whoever else is with him, some guy. But he takes lead on 2, and I don't know if he takes lead on Land 2 either. But I remember he was the only one doing it on 2. But this motherfucker is easily my favorite video game musician. I feel like
he's up there.
He's up there. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful soundtracks.
Yeah, beautiful soundtracks. He's incredible. Yeah. So yeah, the music was great, even on the handheld. I thought. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say like Final Fantasy says like hold my fucking.
Well,
it does, but then also a lot of these
I think he's on the same level.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing. Yeah.
I know.
David Wise
it's a different vibe, but and Tropical Freeze like really nails that in the coffin for me. Like when he has like more tools and he's like really mixing shit, you can tell, like as opposed to like
fucking Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing is just an absurd. They're probably just like have as much fun as possible. This game is just irreverent. And he was like, all right.
Shockingly killer soundtrack on that one.
Absolutely insane soundtrack that holds up to this day. Yeah, that was another one, 97, I believe. I think so, yeah. And then what else? Sound design, incredible. It hit all the notes. I would say maybe sound design was actually lacking a little, but it's probably, again, Game Boy capability.
Like translation of,
Translation. How long did it take you? These games are each, like, if you're running them, 40 to 50 minutes. 30 if you're a god, and then if you're casually playing them, like an hour to an hour 15 each. I don't even think.
Depends on if you get stuck on this one level forever.
Oh, dude, I forgot to tell you, Adam. I was watching a speedrunner, and there's literally a skip right in the beginning. You like
really?
and then you roll and then like angle back and go right under.
That would have been good when I'm trying to do that shit in my car.
I know. In my mind, it was like how Mario Maker
in the back of the Volvo.
In order to clear check a level, you have to like beat it, obviously, and sometimes you would put like a skip barrel or like like a warp block somewhere to get to the end, but no one would know there was a warp block there. And to me, like this secret exit in this level is like that for the creators. Like they probably put it there.
Didn't you accidentally find a secret exit in one of one of the playthroughs that you did on stream the other day?
In one, I found a secret exit and I like had no idea. Like
I watched you play one. Yeah, one. You went like down below something, and it just like put you at the end of the level.
I think that was a glitch, honestly.
Or maybe it looked like a glitch, but
it looked like a glitch. I remember like I would touch something or did something.
Yeah, you seemed confused about it.
It would be like an exit. You know what I mean? Like it was. Yeah. I remember that. That was really fun. So not perfect games, but whatever. And let's see what else. So they take me that long. How were the games? Were they difficult? These games actually are difficult. I'm gonna say they are not Dark Souls difficult. They're not as hard as the countries, although the countries just have more levels, so more varying displays of difficulty, I would say. So that's not necessarily, some of the levels are actually really fucking hard, especially in one, like we're talking about this one dumbass level where you're bouncing around on a moving platform or jumping off of pigs. And it's absolutely insane. But a lot of these levels are really, really hard. So I would say 10 being like the hardest Dark Souls game and 1 being like, the first level of Mario 64 or whatever, Super Mario Bros. I would put this at like, I would say a 6.57 almost. Like, you know what I mean? I would almost say 7, like graciously. I would say, and especially 1 probably deserves that the most. It is like pretty grueling, especially the last 2 worlds are hard. And without the rewind, it's going to take me a lot of training. Only 4 worlds in 1, so it's pretty short. But and then what else? Would I play a sequel? As many as you can make. Like, give me all the Donkey Kong. I can't even. Yeah. So I'm gonna rate these all individually. I know this doesn't matter because Zach's the one who keeps track of it. So, oh wait, how much do these cost? These are like $15 games if you have a Game Boy, and a Game Boy is like $100 right now.
Yeah, I just looked them up on eBay. You can get the first one for $13.97.
Oh yeah.
Second one for $15.
That's
impressive. All 3 of them for $30. Like it's actually.
They must have flooded the market with these cartridges because
I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, because there's so many obscure games that cost a goddamn fortune. Yeah. And it's like, but no one played that game. Well, yeah, exactly. No one had that game.
Exactly. So they didn't produce more of it.
Yeah. This looks like $16 on average per game, which is like
I saw 3 for $50, so that's pretty good. And then you can get
go get them.
You can get a Super Game Boy for like $30 to $50 or whatever. So for $100, Or
I have that nice for a Game Boy. You can see right behind. Oh, you can't see it.
Ooh.
But
well, look at this. Look how good Wrinkly looks. So I would definitely say these games are a buy at this price. Like absolutely incredible, especially if you're playing it handheld. Like I hope to God these come to the Switch. I will lose my shit. It's gonna be amazing if these come to the Switch, and it's gonna like revolutionize the speedrunning scene for this game. All these games also, we'll see a ton of like a huge influx. I can't even talk. Huge influx. I mean, influx of spin. I can't even.
You mentioned on you mentioned on stream like how cool it would be if they did. Like basically just a remake of all 3 of these in a modern style. They just take the level design and port it, and I feel like that would not take that much work, and they would get a bunch of free money out of it. They should do.
I would love that, and especially
that would be remastering old games all the time. Honestly,
I don't think they need to master the countries, but I think these ones, just how like Link's Awakening, just need.
I think you could stand to just like you go like, hey, we put out country, we cleaned up the models, they're smooth, and that's it.
That's true. You could just smooth out the models.
Yeah,
they run the risk of changing things incrementally, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
Not Nintendo. They're really good. Yeah, Nintendo does everything right. So I would say each of these games are astonishingly good. I'm gonna grade them for their time period since I don't want to give multiple ratings on 2 sets of games. So we're just gonna like grade them as if like I just opened the box and put this shit in. And honestly, I think it mostly holds up. So I don't even think that like an alternate rating for now would be that much lower. I think that platformer fans would still enjoy this on a big screen, probably more. But handheld, like if it was on like a really nice Game Boy maybe or a color, you know, that would be good, I would say. Who the fuck does that though? So let's see. One, I probably am. This is probably my lowest rating, I would say, out of the three, just because it is a little more grueling and it's like the most different, which is a plus, but it also holds it back in slight ways. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm still gonna give it a super high. I think that one is probably. These are gonna be high. A 9.1, I would say. It's pretty good, but it's not like a flawless game, but it is amazing. I would say it's in that territory. And then 2, I would give a 9.4. And then 3, I actually think is my favorite out of the 3 as far as controls. So I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's definitely, in my opinion, the smoothest handling of the lands. And 2 is like a close second. And Country 2 is my favorite Donkey Kong Country out of all of them. And still, I think that Land 3 is a smoother game. And it just like flows a little better. But yeah, they're incredible games. If you can get your hands on these bad boys, they're absolutely worth it. Super random review, I know, but absolutely worth it. Hey, look, I'm starting 3 now.
Yeah. All right.